Astrid, Anton, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Hey, Zaf, thanks for having us.
Awesome.
Thank you for invitation.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for being here. And I know that you're both, digital nomads. You've built a brand, a following out of that. You're both marketers. You work together, you travel together. I'd love to know how that whole thing come about. Like, how did this kind of digital nomad lifestyle begin?
Yeah. Do you want me to start, Anton?
Yeah, go for it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, first of all, thank you, Zeb, for having us again. Yeah. So basically, we turned our Silicon Valley experience and expertise into a digital marketing company in 2019. Coming from these big names, and sometimes I'm really, humbled to say this, but we worked with big names like Google, PayPal, Samsung, and our expertise helped us really to build the digital marketing agency pretty fast. Within a year, we reached a six-figure revenue. And in 2022, we decided to leave the United States completely to start a digital nomad lifestyle. And we traveled 12 countries in 2024. And now we are kind of merging our passion for travel and personal brand development. So that's where we are these days.
Amazing. And as far as personal brand development, I mean, I really want to, hats off to you for building a YouTube channel so quickly with 1,800 subscribers, from only 127 videos. That's pretty remarkable growth. A lot of your some of your some of your episodes have as much as 8 to 9 thousand views. Um, Maybe you could share with my listeners, many of whom are trying to build their own YouTube following or, their own online presence, a little bit about how you built this YouTube channel.
Sure, I guess I'll take this one. So essentially, just randomly came through our heads. So we just like sitting on a sofa talking random things about the business, whatnot. And then we was like, okay, what else we can do? It's like, okay, so we're planning to go to different places. Why not start like doing some filming, just recording for ourselves? Essentially, we were doing just the album, which you can just take anytime back, like list it through and see where you were. And that's how it's all started. So we recorded one episode, two episodes. So it kind of was a little bit weird at the beginning because we were trying to memorize the scripts. We tried to like learn in advance the places we go to. But then we realized it's a little bit too much of a work. So essentially we're just winging through it as we like traveling like different countries. We just take the phone and just start filming on that. We did buy some equipment such as microphone, cameras. I mean, tested different things. As a matter of fact, if you are looking for good filming equipment, check out some of our videos. You might be able to get some insight of that as well. But essentially, these days, I think iPhone, I mean, that's what we use. Uh,
Hmm.
it's just like it works for everything. The microphone is fine, the video is fine. At the end of the day, it's just about like creating this engaging story, whatnot. But
Right.
yes, it was a random decision. We just started off filming and then putting it out there, see whether people like it, whatnot. And now we kind of transition a little bit more towards like the social media, such as Facebook and Instagram,
Mhm.
and trying to develop some personal brands on those platforms as well.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put all the links in the show notes, but it's
Yep.
really cool. It's called Astana Vista without baby. Love the name.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
I see you're on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and I'll share all that. So you were planning to travel anyway, and you said, why not film it? And like, how did you pick these destinations? Because for those who haven't listened to it or watched it yet, you've gone a lot to Southeast Asia, looks like,
Yeah.
Vietnam, Singapore, Thailand. What drew you to these places in particular?
Yeah, I guess we've been thinking about Vietnam for a very long time, Vietnam and Thailand.
Yeah.
Because some of our friends visited those places and just kept telling us about Vietnam and Thailand and how awesome it is. And it just was sitting in our heads. So there was no brainer for us to decide where we want to go first. But then, and this part I'm going to leave to Astrid, like what happens then once we get to the Vietnam.
Once we got to Vietnam, we kind of understood that we really love Asia. We were so skeptical actually in the beginning. We were just, hearing from our friends here and there, and then we found out that it's really cheap to travel between Asian countries. It's about $15 to $100 to buy just a ticket to go to any place in Asia,
Wow.
basically. We unfortunately took a lot of luggage with us, so that was one of our biggest mistakes. So, guys, if you travel to Asia, don't take anything with you. You can just walk with your sandals and shirt, t-shirts, or shorts. You don't need
Yeah,
clothes there. So, yeah,
get
we
your
found out that
flip-flops.
it's
That's
really
it.
cheap to travel different places, and we started hopping into different locations: Hong Kong, Singapore, Thailand. We still have some places to cover, including Japan, Philippines, a little bit of Malaysia, peninsula part. So that's probably coming either this year or later down the line. But yeah, and then in 2024, we also did a Euro trip, which is not yet in our YouTube channel. It's coming up. Amsterdam, Switzerland, Italy. Where else we have been? I'm losing track already. So
Yeah, yeah,
Amazing. Those are some really awesome places. I've been to Italy, not Switzerland, although that's something a place I'd like to try to go this summer. For the Asian countries, that's all, especially Japan, like these are all places I really like dream to go eventually.
yeah,
So it's really cool to see in your on your channel get a taste of, what to expect. And you shared one really important thing about, travel light, especially when you're going to these between these different Asian countries. Do you have any other, travel tips I guess you can share with some of my listeners, many of whom are in the travel or hospitality business?
mm,
yeah. I think
yeah.
all of the
Okay,
traveling
go.
really depends on your own experience, right? So some people say they love Thailand, some people say they love Vietnam, and vice versa. I mean, like it's just like really depends on your own experience where you go, because all the recommendation that you see on YouTube doesn't really help all that much. I mean, they can prep you a little bit, say, okay, you might need some cash in these countries. They don't accept credit cards like throughout all the stores, whatnot. But generally speaking, it really depends on your own experience, like what experience you go through. It could be the weather that is not good and it kind of ruins everything for you. It could be like running into some folks that like weren't all that friendly and it kind of ruins the experience for you. So just keep your mind open. Don't think about like bad things. I mean, something bad is going to happen anyway, but good things happening too. So you got to mix them up and then make your own decision on that.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
any crazy travel stories that either of you can share, like, really amazing, things that surprised you or wowed you, or maybe really, awful things, nightmares. What are some cool stories or something you could share?
As you got anything in your mind?
Fortunately, there were no scary stories, as much as it sounds that we have been in the most scary and dangerous places like Bangkok, or we have been with Anton in the most dangerous city in United States, Detroit and St. Louis, but no one killed us, you know. Uh, so fortunately, that's good to know. But we did hear some scary stories. One of the guys we met in Vietnam, he was drugged in his beer and
Oh.
robbed. Basically, they robbed his cell phone and credit cards and everything. And he was just a lone traveler. So I think when they see us, and you don't see Anton in the video, but he's a pretty big guy.
Mhm.
He's like, uh, how tall are you, Anton?
I'm a 6'3", so
Wow.
pretty
Yeah.
tall. So for me, Asia seems to be a little bit too small. I mean, that's such a huge comparison when you go to Europe and Asia. Even getting on the subway, the doors are too low. I mean, I'm always like heading like bouncing into like the doors, whatnot, like or covers of some sort of. But in Europe, like everything is so tall and massive. So those,
Right. So in the Asian countries, it's a lower, like
yeah,
most things. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. That makes sense. And so obviously you got to be careful and things like that. But it sounds like thankfully, you've had good experiences. What are some tips you can share about? I know you said you have a video about camera gear and things like this. For
Right.
someone who's maybe thinking of either building a travel vlog or YouTube and wants to make travel content, or if they're a brand, maybe a hotel, or a restaurant, and they want to start making, content, maybe using the destination as part of the content. What are some
Mhm.
tips you can share about either, creating a good story, as you mentioned, or the
Right.
the camera, lighting? What are some tips you can share with them?
Yeah, I guess camera and lighting, it all comes with experience. The more videos you make, the better you get at it. But one of the main like kind of things I would recommend uh your
Listener.
followers, your visitors, basically is not to be afraid to film, especially in places like restaurants, whatnot. People will look at you and it kind of off throws you off and you kind of get in a little bit shy, whatnot. But the owners of those restaurants actually do appreciate when you film their food or film their surroundings, whatnot. They know what you're doing. They know that you either making some kind of reel or maybe you're gonna like advertise them on the YouTube, whatnot. So they okay with that. And with that said, they usually bring you best like dish whatnot. Like
Right.
they really make it presentable. They can even like give you some kind of I don't know, marker to write something on their like walls, whatnot. They don't
Mhm.
do it for everyone, but if you see, like, if they see you moving around and doing some kind of filming, they actually do appreciate it. So don't be afraid, don't be shy, just like do your thing. And that comes like with anything. It's not just restaurants. I mean, same thing with the hotels, whatnot.
Mhm.
Uh, it's just like one of those safety triggers for yourself, right? So you can feel a little bit more safer when you film things around. People like a little bit more cautious about what you do and why you do it. Yeah.
That's true too. And it's one of the perks, I guess, of being a travel or food influencer is definitely, people give you the best stuff. And I think I've been telling my clients, big thing now is UGC, user generated content,
Oh yeah.
influencer content. I'm curious, for both of you, like how do you come up with the names, the titles of these videos? Because you have some very interesting and provocative titles.
Asked you the SEO guy.
Yeah, well, sometimes we are still learning, to be honest with you. There's still a way to go to learn, but with experience, we learn to use some tools which are SEO friendly title generation tools. As much as SEO still works, we use AI heavily. We ask different AIs, including ChatGPT, for advice on to telling. We just give them script about what our video is about and ask it to come up with the name. And sometimes it's just a feeling, just a sixth sense about what happened during that video, and maybe something crazy that happened that we want to put into the name. And may I add something on the tools part that your
Yeah,
question you
please do.
about?
People want to learn this. Yeah.
Yeah, because I did that wee video about the GoPro versus iPhone, and we were really surprised that, and a little disappointed, honestly, with the quality of GoPro versus iPhone. So we spent a
Wow.
lot of money on this GoPro. Was it like which one was it? The last one, 12 Hero.
Well, yeah.
Then we found out that it's not the best camera for dark street view shots. So we had to buy extra lights and carry that around with us. So in the end, we just decided to ditch that and just take the latest iPhone, the Pro one with the best camera. So if you can afford an iPhone, it's better to have the phone with a camera one in place. And these days, you will be surprised how good iPhones are in terms of
Oh
camera.
yeah, I got the new one last year. I
Yeah.
got the one of the good camera because I just had a baby and I wanted to really capture every moment, So I guess I could go do travel content. It's good to know I could do it even without a GoPro and a whole bunch of equipment.
Yeah.
Have
Um,
you tried to make any of those spatial videos yet for your kids?
No, it was spatial videos.
Yeah, you know they came up with this like Vision Pro thing,
Hmm.
and now you actually can film the videos just for that.
I
What?
haven't. I'll have to look into that. I'll definitely, that's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
Yeah.
something
just
I
like
should do.
scroll it through. It says spatial video or something, and you can
Spatial.
like film it and see how it is. Maybe we don't have accessibility. I mean, not everybody's using the Pro Vision. I mean, we don't, but essentially, I guess we'll all get into that space. It'll be nice to see videos that you created like, I don't know, 5, 10 years ago.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna look into that facial videos. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And on your I know that you're now on other platforms as well, and of course any tips you can share about growing on any platform is appreciated. But I know with YouTube, that's what you've been on the longest. Like YouTube is can be a weird place, especially now. It's so competitive. A lot of people have challenges like getting more views, more subscribers on their channel. There's a whole besides making really good content and storylines, which is super important. I think that's probably one of the most important. But then there's also the whole science of, there's the art of it, and then there's the science of like hacking YouTube, of like SEO and,
Mhm.
what are, some tips for someone trying to build their YouTube channel that you've learned?
Yeah, I can take this one. So the most important thing is in all the channels is the consistency basically. And I consider we have two successful channels. One is TikTok, surprisingly. I don't know if it's gonna stay in USA for now or not, but uh, the most important thing is consistency and also being on the a topic of where you are located. For example, the best video that we had so far in TikTok was in Vietnam about a lady who was selling fruits on the street, on the beach. And many people recognized her, local people. And that video collected 1.5 million views. And
Wow.
most of the people were the local people who were debating with each other. They were like getting to know each other, discussing the lady who was selling the fruit, asking me questions. So it's very important to be on the uh, location where you are located, on the topics that surround the people, and that's how they will engage with your content. So the consistency, the artwork itself, it's very important to make sure that you have nice thumbnails on your YouTube videos. It takes time, but it's nice to have thumbnails, the descriptions, the titles, the tags, the hashtags, and also promoting it a little bit in within your other channels like Instagram, TikTok, and I also used Reddit for some promotion. People are very kind when you
Oh,
when you try to promote. We haven't seen hate speech at least for now, which is amazing.
it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reddit. I wouldn't have thought of that. That's interesting. So you open a thread on Reddit and say like, what do you think of my latest video?
And
Yeah.
not really, no. If you do that, they're not gonna like it. What you
Right.
do, you just try to tell an interesting story or give advice. Let's say, hey guys, I have been in Vietnam, and here is the things that I would avoid or I would recommend. And by the way, if you want, you can check out my latest video about it.
Yeah, because I read on Reddit too. Like that's a channel I don't do a lot with, but I'm always reading about it and always like checking in. And one thing I've heard about Reddit is that it's all about being helpful there. Like that's true, I think, on all social media, but especially there, they hate self-promotion. But if you come in like a good citizen, giving some helpful tips and things like that, and then you have permission to then say, hey, and you can learn more like on my channel and things like that.
Yeah.
But that's really incredible. 1.5 million views on TikTok. TikTok, congratulations. And then as far as um, engagement and things like that. So it sounds like from my takeaway from what you said is consistency, relevance, being helpful. And what has the engagement feedback been like? It sounds like you luckily haven't had too many trolls or bad things. Have people said, "Hey, you've inspired me to travel," or I never thought about going to Hong Kong or Armenia, but now I want to go. Like, what's the feedback been like?
Do you want to
Um,
take it? I can answer this quickly, and then
Yeah.
maybe
Oh, go
Anton
ahead. Yeah.
has something to add. Um, I don't know if it's what we started seeing or it's really happening, but all our friends and people around us started traveling as well. So
Mm.
they see us a lot, right? They see us on Instagram, on YouTube. We promote the different places. They even lose track of where we are at that point. And then suddenly we meet someone, hey, you, how are you? And they're like, oh, I decided to go to Rome, or I decided to go to this place. And it's really amazing to see that you can inspire other people and show them that it is possible. It's not that expensive to be traveling, actually. It's not. If you find a nice ticket, especially depending on where you are, from Asia, you travel Asian countries. From Armenia, you travel all the Europe and Middle East. And from US, you travel the US and the North America and South and Canada. So it's not that expensive if you travel light and if don't spend on luxury hotels and taxis. And yeah, I think that is a little part, a piece that we impact other people, and it's nice to see.
Yeah,
That's
to be
amazing.
fair, I mean, it's probably, I mean, to be fair, we probably should mention that, look, we don't have apartment or we're not renting anything in US, so we don't have this extra spend while we're traveling. So that kind of saves a lot of money for us. We left everything and we just went for like, it's easy for us to rent out places like in any country because it's like any country is cheaper than US. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So, and we don't have to pay for a rent or for the house, whatnot in the US itself. Because most of the people can't travel simply because they got the rent for a year and they just lock themselves up and they can't really leave for like long time, whatnot, because they have work. So there's a lot of nuances of why people don't travel as much. But the bottom line is, you just got to start somewhere. It doesn't have to be a new country. It can be like the city. Because before we went through like the whole world and visited all these countries, 2 years before that, we were traveling through the U.S. So we visited, I don't know if not all, but most of the states in the United States. So we like went to Chicago, New York, Miami. I don't know, like pretty name the city, I'll probably been there. And that was like very exciting traveling at that point as well. Maybe now it doesn't seem to be as exciting because we've seen other countries and the culture is so different. But just like doing those small moves, even across the street, it's like all those things are really helping.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, that could be very exciting. Sometimes
yeah,
it's even fun to be a tourist in your own city. I know
exactly.
in New Yorkers, it's hard to get them to leave their borough or their neighborhood even. But it could be like a different world. Sometimes, and I saw one of your, videos, which people can watch, is quitting your 9 to 5, like at Google and starting your dream.
Right.
And you mentioned a few things about tra cost-effective traveling too. I know then you have videos as well about like how to save money while you travel and things like that.
Yeah. It's
Awesome.
interesting that you mentioned this particular video because it doesn't have a whole lot of views. I mean, it's probably one of the smallest ones. Yet every time we see somebody, the new person we talk to, and they like
Mhm.
investigate our channel, they always referring to this particular video. So now
Mhm.
maybe we should make more of those.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting to people because I think a lot of people like would love to do what you're doing and they want to see, how can I travel in a way that's, cost effective and, like balance career, family. So you're both really nomads basically. How has it impacted with like working? Do you find it to be a challenge or is it easy, or how would you describe like working while you're traveling these places?
I guess time zones would be the biggest one. Asked if you want
Yeah, well, I am a night owl, so for me it's a pleasure to stay late and to talk to my clients actually. So I don't mind working late hours. The hardest was in Asia. There was a 12 hours difference between any spot in US. So I would stay until 12, 1 p.m., 1 a.m. at night. But the good thing is that in the morning you can wake up, you can go for a run or go to the gym, relax, eat something, and then start work later into the day. That's what I love. Maybe it doesn't fit everyone, but for me, it worked pretty well. Yeah.
Awesome. Really cool. Well, thank you both for being on the podcast. I'm gonna link everything up, your travel sites and everything, your social media in the show notes. Before we close out, where could people find you, connect with you, or is there anything that you want to promote or mention to the listeners?
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, I just started a new channel. It's called Pumping News on Instagram. It's actually on Instagram and on a TikTok. It's very new, so I literally put maybe 5 or 6 videos out there. So there's no audience. So if you guys want to help me out and support with the videos, and if you like it, please hit the like and subscribe, whatnot.
Sure. How do you spell that?
Pumping News, like you pumping at the
Like
gym.
PUMPING news?
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is this about weightlifting?
No, it's just like while I'm doing the workout sessions, I work out on a regular basis. So I usually record some news that like the latest news, like while I'm at the gym. So that's why I'm calling it pumping news. But
Cool.
it is in Russian though. I mean, it's not in English because like my original language is Russian. It's much easier for me to go that way. So if
Right.
you have anybody, if your audience,
Well, I
any,
actually live in a neighborhood, a lot of Russian speaking people, so
ah,
I'll spread the word.
you're from New York, right?
Yeah, Queens. Yeah,
Queens. Oh, okay. Yeah, I used to live in Brooklyn for a while, but anyhow, yeah,
I did
Queens is
too. Cool.
okay. Gotcha, gotcha. All right.
Awesome.
Yeah, I guess that would be it for me. Astrid, you got anything you want to promote?
Yeah, well, people can always find us on davinci.com,
Yeah.
DAVEENTI.com, if they want to schedule a time with us, regardless of the topic. Recently, I found out that it doesn't matter what about I'm going to talk. I really love connecting with people, whether it's sales of the marketing or whatever. Sometimes I really enjoy just talking to people, just seeing where they are. And that's how we actually connected, Zev. So,
Yes, yes.
think things evolve in a very nice way sometimes when you're open to communication. And going forward with AI, the communication is going to be much more important. So just connect with us, whether it's on LinkedIn, on our website, or on Instagram, and we will figure out how we can cooperate and help each other.
Have you all considered doing a podcast? Do you have a podcast like an interview format like this? If you like talking to people, it's definitely
Um,
something.
Maybe eventually. It's a very interesting format, indeed. I mean, like getting new ideas, looking at different perspectives, whatnot. It's definitely the great format to have. We haven't got to that point yet. I think you like 5 steps ahead of us at this point, but
Well, if I could make any, recommendation, I'd say maybe, think about that because I think, like you said, you're traveling, you say, hey, I'm traveling anyway, I might as well film it. If you're doing a
right,
lot of one-on-ones with people, having interesting conversations about business, about life, whatever it is, you might as well just record it and see,
right,
what happens. You could use the highlights as social media
Mhm.
clips. And I'm happy to be your first guest if you ever do start a
right,
podcast.
right on, you got
Um,
Nice.
it.
yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Astrid and Anton, and definitely looking forward to keeping in touch with both of you and everyone. Go check them out.
All right, thank you,
Thank you,
Zab.
Zev. Thanks so much.
All right.